and with me is my good friend Mark Livingstone, Cornerstone First Financial. Mark, it's great to see you, man.
Great to see you, my friend.
Something we got to get together more. I love when you come up here. It's kind of festive. It makes it a festive day.
It does. It starts my day off really well. Coming down here to Capitol Hill to see you, to speak to your listeners, getting stuck in the traffic. I love Washington, D.C.
It's always a lot of fun. I just got a text here from Martha Bonetta, who says, I'm in California now for the NRB. Okay, well, I'm in Washington, D.C. working. I mean,
I just liked her. Hey, Martha, if you're listening, I just liked your picture on Twitter about 20 minutes ago. Good to see you out there with all those fine gentlemen.
NRB, that is the National Religious Broadcasters, the largest annual gathering of Christian media and ministry in the world. Yay for them. A lot of money to be made in that business. So,
yes.
But our stations in Richmond are doing great, and we're happy to have them. Mark Livingstone, a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show, and now a founding sponsor of WJFN 100.5 FM in Rich Vegas. Mark, interest rates are back down to the lowest level in a year amid fears that the economy might be softening a little bit. Now, Jerome Powell, who I have criticized mercilessly last year, is now taking the stance. He's the Federal Reserve Chair, that there may be no interest rates hikes this year due to some inflationary pressure not materializing. Also, my good friend Steve Moore has been nominated by the president to be on the Federal Reserve. We're very excited about that. He's a great friend of mine. And rates now back at or near 4%. Spring home market coming. Now, look, Mark, I don't have to tell you this, but whether you're buying or you're refinancing or you just want to consolidate debt, you know, you got all those credit cards. Get rid of that. Cornerstone, you, Mark, you guarantee the lowest rate. How do you do that?
We do that, John, because we're a lender. We're a lender and a broker. So we have our own money set aside that we can lend to your listeners. So when somebody calls up, if they can find a lower rate, I can then stamp an approval and say, no, we're going to beat that right there. Because the totem pole or the flagpole that you run it up, you're looking at the top of the flagpole right here. So we can meet or beat any competitor, or we'll pay your mortgage for an entire year. Now, there's a couple restrictions. Like I got beaten by a guy who used Wells Fargo Wealth Management. You had to have $1 million at Wells Fargo, and they beat my rate. Okay, that's one of the restrictions. So other than a few restrictions here and there, we will beat any competitor anywhere with the interest rates, whether it's a purchase or refinance. You just mentioned Jerome Powell. Yes, he is saying that the economic indicators are showing a softening in the housing industry. He's taking more of a dovish stance, is what we call it, when you're softer. However, it was Jerome Powell's fault, John, that the rate shot up at the end of last year when he erroneously said, hey, we're going to raise interest rates. The Fed will meet and raise interest rates at least 4 times in 2019. Well, immediately, stocks fell by 20%. Interest rates shot to the highest level in 12 years. And so all of a sudden, that softened the economy. Then with everything going on with the Brexit and the China trade deal and European fears, we know that interest rates, that was just wrong information on his part to share, which pushed the interest rates artificially high. So now they're coming back down. The old adage is up like a rocket, down like a parachute, and that parachute has been coming down since a couple months ago, and now rates have hit where they're supposed to be, which is right around 4%. In fact, government loan, Johns, which are USDA, VA loans, and FHA loans, are below 4% at 3.75 on a 30-year fixed. So anyone that took out a mortgage in the last 12 to 14 months was looking at a interest rate almost a point higher. So do yourself a favor and look to see what your options are now, because interest rates are wonderful. And I always say, hey, it's this time, John, it's a buyer's market. This time, John, it's a seller's market. This is one of the first times I've been on your show where I can emphatically say it's both a buyer's and a seller's market. Why? It's a buyer's market because interest rates are so low. So therefore, you can afford more. It's a seller's market because inventory is tight. So therefore, homes are being pushed up in value, and there's multiple contracts going on houses right now that are for sale. Right now, there's a shortage of inventory in homes between 350 and 600,000. And so right now, those houses are seeing the shortest time span from going on the market to ratification of contract that we've seen in years. It's dropped in half compared to 1 year ago. The amount of time of a home on market is half of what it was 1 year ago.
Why is that?
because the inventory is so tight, because interest rates have dropped. So more people are getting off the fence to buy houses because the low interest rates drive more people to either get off the sidelines and buy homes for the first time or to move up. Right now, we're seeing an increase in millennial buyers like never before.
Well, wait a minute. I thought the whole narrative on millennials is they wanted to rent. They didn't want to get tied down. They had student debt. They weren't having children. They weren't getting married. They weren't buying homes. That's what was driving up the renters market big time. Now you're saying that is starting to reverse.
That's correct. Roughly 6 out of 10 first-time home buyers currently are millennials, and the millennial generation is expected to form 20 million new households by 2025. What's the adage when the tide rises, all boats rise?
It lifts all boats.
It lifts all boats. And right now the millennials are coming off the sidelines. We are seeing a huge...
Just what the experts said they wouldn't do.
Exactly, and now they are.
That's why you don't follow the experts. You follow Mark Livingstone at Cornerstone First Financial.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to consider myself an expert.
Yeah, but you're not one of the expert pundits.
Okay, all right. I like to consider myself the mortgage answer man. So if you have any questions on mortgages, call John's show right now at 888-480-5646. That's 888-480-JOHN. And I'll take your calls. And if you have any questions regarding mortgages, housing in the Commonwealth or anywhere in the country, because right now it's an excellent time because rates are low, inventory's tight, and you need to make sure you're dealing with somebody that knows how to look at your specific situation and whether it's your credit, whether it's your past as a veteran or whatever's going on, and that's what our loan officers are licensed to do. So
okay, so I got a millennial here. Joanna from Chesapeake says millennials don't have money, we're broke. These must be older millennials like 32 plus.
Well, Joanna, actually, there's a lot of new programs that have been rolled out in the past 12 to 14 months. And so, for example, Fannie Mae came out with a program called Home Ready. And Home Ready is Fannie Mae's answer to the FHA loan with 3.5% down. It's much more attractive than the FHA loan, and it allows those first-time home buyers, millennials, or older generation, but first-time homebuyers to get in with only 3% down, minimal mortgage insurance. There's a couple restrictions, like you have to take a class on home ownership. You have to make sure you don't make more money than the county median income requirement, which you can find out on Google. But there's excellent programs out there now, John, that have just come around the corner in the last 12 to 14 months that allow people with less money. You know, one of the biggest misnomer is that you have to put 20% down to buy a house. And that, I think it was millennials that were interviewed, that was the biggest misconception. And so that's not true. You can get into a home for as little as 3% down. So if you tried before and were not successful, do yourself a favor, go to our website, cornerstonefirst.com, or call our office at 866-625-1221.
866-625-1221, Cornerstone First Financial. By the way, Mark Livingstone with us. Mark is a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show. He's been with me for 8 years. I've gotten so much feedback, great feedback from many of our listeners who have said, hey, John, thanks for recommending Mark Livingstone. He beat my rate. I got a better price. It's just amazing to me. Look, if you're going to refi or you want a mortgage, and you want to go to your traditional bank or your CU, that's fine. Do it. I get it. You want to be comfortable. Go through the paperwork, do all the rigmarole. When it's all done, you get a letter of confirmation. Don't sign it. Just call Mark Livingstone at 202-625-1221. Why not get a better deal? It's just loaning you money. It's not like, well, if I get this money, it'll be greener. It's money. What's the difference? Get a better rate, 202-625-1221, or go to cornerstonefirst.com. And now he's a founding sponsor of WJFN Radio 100.5 FM.
And I want to say congratulations on your growth, not just in social media and growing in the radio station world. You're just, in the 8 years that I've known you, it is just, you've taken off. And I'm very proud of you, sir. Well, if there's nobody else that says it to you, I'm saying it to you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Everybody needs somebody that puts that on them and tells them that they're proud of them when they're doing good work. And unfortunately, there's too many people out there that don't have that. Now, with that said, I want to say that, John, your listening area is number 3 in the country for the most military bases. Okay? And with that said, I want to introduce our Hometown Heroes program that we are an affiliate with, Cornerstone First Financial. And what that means is that if you're a hero, and a hero is a veteran, a teacher, a firefighter, or a police officer, we have huge discounts. We give $750 towards that hero's closing costs. So if you're a hero, firefighter, police officer, teacher, veteran, nurse, doctor, clergy, call Cornerstone First Financial. We will give you discounts, $750 towards closing costs, because we are an affiliate of the Hometown Heroes program and we want to give back to the community.
All right, we're going to go to the phone lines, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. And we actually have a caller for you, Mark, from Rich Vegas. Susan from Richmond, you're on the air.
Hey, Susan, good morning.
Hi, good morning, John and Mark. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Love the show, John. You're doing great. That last half hour just totally got me heated up.
Thank you very much.
Now, I just have a quick question for Mark, and I'm glad when I was on hold I heard you mention the Hometown Heroes program.
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds awesome with the savings you're doing. That's great that you're giving back. I've lived in Richmond all my life, bought a house years ago when I was single, and now I'm married. I have 2 children, and we're looking to expand the house. We want to stay in the same community, but we're thinking about doing a home improvement loan or anything you can help me out with that. Any advice? Because my husband, he is a veteran, and we want to take advantage of the benefits that he has with that now.
Excellent, Susan. Well, thank you for your husband's service. And as a veteran, he can take advantage of a VA loan, which allows veterans, both active duty and retired, to go up to 100% of the value of your home. So now, while you could apply for a home equity line of credit, which a lot of people have done in the past, however, 65% of home equity lines of credit that were taken out were used for debt consolidation. And I want to just caution the listeners that it's no longer tax deductible unless it's used for home improvement or to purchase the home. So if you had a home equity line of credit taken out in the past and it wasn't used to invest in the home, then it's no longer tax deductible. So a lot of people are combining their first and second mortgages and refinancing. But Susan, what I would recommend to you, since your husband is a veteran, is to look at the option of refinancing up to 100% using that VA certificate, otherwise known as a DD-214. I love to say that. Use your DD-214 to go up to 100% of the value of your home, and you can take that cash out to then reinvest it in your home, which will then help to appreciate the home. And because it's all under the first mortgage, it's all tax deductible.
What do you think about that?
Okay.
What do you think about that?
It sounds awesome. I mean, the Richmond area is doing so well. And again, even though I bought this house over 15 years ago, I think I have some decent equity where I could do that.
Excellent. And if you call our office...
Should I call speak to you?
Okay, you can call the office and speak to any of our loan officers. They're all adept at doing some research of your specific property. I will tell you that Richmond and surrounding area saw a double-digit increase in appreciation year over year, January 2018 to January 2019, 11.2%. That's huge. That's really, really great. So therefore, probably you have enough equity. Again, we will do the research for you. We'll pull comps, do all that, check your credit, guide you if there's any credit issues, if there's any challenges. So do yourself a favor, call the office at 866-625-1221, or you can go to our website at cornerstonefirst.com.
Cornerstonefirst.com,
okay,
man, that's the way to go. Hey, Susan, thank you. Go to cornerstonefirst.com, 202-625-1221. Mark Livingstone with us, Cornerstone First Financial, been a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show, been with me for 8 years. That's a long time, Mark.
That is a long time.
8 years going on 9.
Yes.
Going on now. We appreciate it. Slumlord George, he needs a mortgage. George, I know you flip houses. You got to buy some of this stuff, 202-625-1221. Stop getting ripped off, George. Go to cornerstonefirst.com.
Was that a text that he just sent?
Yeah, he sent me a text. He's like, I get all my loans through a bank. Well, you're paying too much money. See, this is the thing. When you're getting a loan, right, it's not like you're going out, you're buying a car and say, well, I'll buy a cheaper car, I'll buy an older car because, I want to save money or I'll downsize. I will not get all the perks in it. So you get paid to. It's money, right? It's money. It's like there's a different allocation of it. You're borrowing. Let's say it's $350,000. Why would you pay more money to borrow that when you can pay less money to borrow it with Cornerstone First Financial? Like, why would you do that? It's insane.
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
A lot of people that go to banks, John, we actually get a lot of referrals from local banks because banks will only go down to a 640 credit score. We go down to a 500 credit score. Yes, no one can ever believe it. 500 credit score on FHA and VA. And so, therefore, we get a lot of our bank partners that call us and go, hey, we're sending this guy. He was just in here meeting with somebody. We can't do his loan. Mark, can you do it? And boom, we approve that loan.
This is the other thing. If your credit score is down, a lot of people are embarrassed by it. There's no reason for that, especially with what would happen with a financial meltdown in 2008. That has been the driver to destroy a lot of people's credit. So maybe you had some bad things happen then, or you lost your job, or you went in debt, or all that stuff going on. There's no reason to be embarrassed about that. You call up Mark Livingstone, 202-625-1221. They're going to work with you. If there's a couple things they have to do, they'll get that done. But if you're worthy, just because your score has a few bad things on it, they can still get the job done. Right, Mark?
Absolutely. And as that caller just said, her house has appreciated. Homes right now are at an 11-year high. So if you have PMI and you took your loan out and you haven't taken the mortgage insurance off, do yourself a favor, call, and we'll check to see what the value is because you might be able to eliminate that PMI, saving you hundreds of dollars per month. And it's likely that your interest rate now would be lower than what you initially took out 2, 3, 4 years ago. So it behooves you to call and see what we can do for you. Just 15 minutes, and you might be back on the road saving hundreds of dollars per month. What's not to like? Hundreds of dollars per month. You know what you can do with $100 per month?
I could do a lot with $100 per month.
So can I.
I'm very frugal, so I could do a lot with $100 per month, and I could fix. I tell you what I could do. I'd fix the side mirror on my Saturn with 155,000 miles on it that I haven't done.
Is that yours up front?
Yes, my Saturn. I love my Saturn. People make fun of it. They say, "Why do you drive a 2008 Saturn with a car company that went bankrupt with 150,000 miles on it?" Because it's paid off, and I like to drive it. It's fine.
Right. It's like my coffee maker. I've had the same coffee maker since I got out of college.
I'd rather spend my money on my son's baseball future.
Okay.
So that's very expensive, by the way. That baseball thing, man. When you get at his elite level, it is a lot of money. So I'd rather spend it on that. Right? We all have to make choices in life, Mark.
Absolutely. Opening day for Nats tomorrow.
Now, look, I get very excited about opening day. I really, after I get off the show tomorrow, I'm done. Like, don't call me or email me. You're not going to get a response back because opening day for me is very special. And what MLB did this year, I love what they're doing, is okay, they did the games in Japan. Who cares, right? That was like a week ago with Seattle and Ichiro. But now they have real opening day. What I used to hate is like they'd have a Sunday night game for open. That's not opening day. Mm-hmm. Opening day is a day in the middle of the week. It opens. It's 12 o'clock in Cincinnati. It's been that way forever. I'm a traditionalist. Opening day is Thursday. The great thing about opening day is everybody's even.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's even. The Astros open in Tampa against the Rays. The Rays are one team that's always given us trouble. Even for the past 2 seasons, they're always tough on us, especially at that dome in Petersburg. I'm looking forward to that. And Washington opening where?
Here in D.C. tomorrow.
In D.C. tomorrow, afternoon or night?
Afternoon.
And who
I believe it's 1 o'clock, and I unfortunately be in class, so I cannot attend.
Right.
Yeah.
I normally would sneak out and go to that game, but I've got other things.
I would normally invite you. But I can't be there.
But,
so.
but invite me again.
Okay, another game. So, yeah.
But tomorrow opening day, and how do you think the Nats will do?
Well, let's see. I'm not sure. You know the whole thing with Scherzer going up to the Phillies. That's kind of Harper. That's what I meant. Sorry. So I don't know. I'm not a huge baseball fan. Yeah, I'm just going to put it out there.
I think that they're not going to win the division. Philadelphia's the favorite.
Okay. Because of Harper.
Harper, and plus they have a good team anyway. They got McCutchen. They've got quality starters. the Phillies were in the hunt with Atlanta. They were in first place until the end of August, and then they collapsed. I think they're the favorite to win the division. I also wouldn't count out the Mets.
You're saying Atlanta's the favorite to win the division?
Philadelphia,
okay.
And I wouldn't count out the Mets. And Washington's always got a shot because they got two quality starters. They got a lot of holes right now. They got a lot of holes.
We'll see. Next time when I'm back on here, when I'm back here next month, we'll talk about it again.
We'll see what happens then. We're out of time for this segment. We love Mark Livingstone.
Thank you. Give the office a call at 202-625-1221. And again, our Hometown Heroes program with huge discounts for firefighters, police officers, veterans, and teachers. And right now, with interest rates at a 12-month low, it is the time to go. So mark my word. I'll be back next month. We'll talk about it again and see where we've gone from here to then. And it's just an excellent opportunity. So call Cornerstone First Financial or cornerstonefirst.com on the web, 202-625-1221. John,
and
great to see you, my friend.
When you call, tell them you heard it on the John Fredericks Radio Network or WJFN 100.5 FM, our new station in Richmond. Mark Livingstone, he's the guy. We'll be right back.